Yeah, so this is the second year that the government banned the candlelight vigil. It's been more than 3 decades, Hong Kong people commemorating the Tiananmen massacre on this exact day. And the banning is a demonstration of the erosion of freedom in Hong Kong. So last year, I was there in the Victoria Park, light a candle to commemorate all the fallen and democratic fighters for China. But this year, we've been seeing a much more massive crackdown. And no one can have access to the Victoria Park, which we used to hold the night, vigil night there. And some of the organizers are arrested just because they vowed to light a candle. So this is a extremely outrageous development.
A lot has happened in the year that's gone. How do you feel seeing your friends and colleagues who remained in Hong Kong after last year's incident, such as Joshua Wong, being jailed for taking part in the Tiananmen vigils?
Well, they are extremely brave. They understand that they are facing these consequences, but they are willing to commit into it because they believe that lighting a candle for the fallen to commemorate them is the right thing to do. And we should memorize this part of history. Not only we should go after the Communist Party for responsibility and accountability, but also reminded us that there was a period for the Chinese people. They were really brave and fighting for freedom and democracy for their own country.
Now, you managed to leave Hong Kong last year when the national security law was enforced. Although you're based in the UK now, authorities in China are still targeting you and your website.
Yes, definitely. I'm now under the wanted list of the national security law and some other charges related to my peaceful participation of protest. One of the initiatives I found, the Hong Kong Charter 2021, its website was asked by the Hong Kong police to be disabled. So for now, it's restored. But we could really see that the government is applying the national security law worldwide, and they're asking a domain and a host outside of Hong Kong, outside of China, to shut down websites that the Hong Kong police consider subversive. So this is the way to show the Chinese aggression overseas are growing.
Tell us more about how you see this progressing in the coming year.
Definitely, the heavy-handed approaches from China will continue because they are just growing more confident in their own system. And I think the international community should react vigorously, building up alliance in the name of democracy and trying to alleviate human rights violation in China and over the world with coordinated actions.
So where does it leave you then? What hope do you have for some of your basic rights, such as freedom of speech, to be restored in Hong Kong?
Well, the freedom of speech, freedom of expression are definitely crushed. There are people who just chant slogan, display slogan, or light a candle, and they are being charged, being arrested, or even facing decades of imprisonment. For now, Hong Kong people they tend to use more covert way or less obvious ways to protest. But I believe that in the future, when the time comes, they will definitely rise. And I think there is a possibility for China, while they're facing extremely difficult internal and external challenges, that there will be risks and demanding for legitimacy from people. So democracy will prevail under our arduous efforts, and I'll keep fighting for democracy in the future, no matter what.
Do you think we'll see some of the protesters return to the streets like we saw in 2019 when we saw mass rallies turn out in Hong Kong?
I think it will take at least a couple of years when we see it, because for now, a lot of energy of the civil society are channeled to back-end stuff like helping out people in the legal process, going to visit prisoners and preparing them the necessary resources. These things are actually the things that we are focusing on, because we have had more than 10,000 people arrested. A couple thousand of them are in this very exhausting and even challenging legal process. So we are at the time that we need to help them and to provide the necessary resources for them.
And Nathan, despite the ban today, there are still ways Hong Kongers can mark the 32 years since that brutal Tiananmen Square crackdown, as you say. Tell us how they're doing this.
Well, it's difficult for us to have collective actions now because those are seen as illegal and facing severe crackdown. But on an individual basis, we can still at least wear in black, light the candle on your doorstep, or chant certain slogans with your own capacity. These are the things that there are still rooms to do it. I think for a lot of Hong Kong people, they come up with their own ways to spell out their thoughts, their opposition with more creative ways. I think there is still room, but the room is just so limited.
Nathan Law, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you talking to the world tonight.
Thank you so much.